Hello. I'm ready to jump back into this game, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna finish it in this stream. Hey, Emily. Emily was slacking yesterday and decided she'd rather sleep than come up in the stream. So everyone point and laugh. Okay, let's just click on continue. Emily, just don't sleep for it. Emily, how dare you? How dare you? Okay. So, this is what we have so far. We have almost everything over here locked in except for Ginu. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but except her daughter we don't have locked in yet. And we don't know Susan's spouse's name. But other than that, we almost have everything over here locked in. Garland, is that his name? Yeah. Why is that? I don't get it. Is it something bad? I don't understand. I'm confused. Or is it just someone... Robert looks like that. Looks like that moon with the face. Robert, this one? No, he doesn't. Okay. We think we have these correct here. So... That's 1, 2. We need 5 now to lock in, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. That's only 3, because this... We don't... First of all, we don't even have that, but even if we did, that's not a main person. Okay. I don't know if Min is in college or not, because... Let me see. Lucy... There was the Team Talon Claw website. I can't remember if Team Talon Claw was... Okay, it says university. Okay, so it's college. I couldn't remember if it was college or high school, but I'm pretty sure we got her correct. And then we figured out that Lisa goes here, apparently, and not Mary, and Mary goes here. I think those are corrected, but then we just have, like... Who Elias had an affair with. I'm pretty sure it's Elizabeth. I just don't know the last name. Oh, I'm not 100% sure on the last name. Where is it? Here it is. Let's look. There is an Elizabeth Cravensworth. That's why I was thinking that's who it is. Because there's also Elizabeth Farrow, but... I don't think it's Elizabeth Farrow because I think maybe Elizabeth Farrow is Christine's mom. She's not on the tree though. So I think it might be Elizabeth Cravensworth because Zach took over for Elias. So ideally maybe Elizabeth would have still been there. So I'm gonna assume this is Elizabeth Cravensworth. I don't know if we searched that name up, to be honest. I can't remember. Okay, nothing there. But maybe... Okay. Oh my god. Search the periodicals. We can see if she would mayhaps come up in here. I don't think she would, but I could also just try the last name. Cravensworth. Let's just look didn't even search. Let's just look for the last name here, and then we'll do it in spider search. I don't think this is gonna get us anything, but it doesn't hurt to try. Okay. Now let's just try Cravensworth. No. Okay. Maybe... Oh, there was something I wanted to look up. What was it? It was... Where's the picture? Where's the picture? Here it is. A company picnic? But wasn't it called something specific? I thought it was called something specific. Maybe just Roottrees Company Picnic? Maybe we take this in here. No. Oh, you know what? It was worth a try, I suppose. I don't know how else we're gonna find anything about Elizabeth. There were no major expenses when Zach was president, by the way. Okay, did Elizabeth, like, quit? It doesn't say that she quit. Maybe I should search up, like... I don't really think this is going to get me anything, but maybe... I don't think that... Where's the picture? This one. I don't think this would be Elizabeth. Because she doesn't look... Oh. There's a tattoo, and I feel like that tattoo is important. Not that it helps me now, but... Huh. And I can't even tell what that is. But... kind of does look like a flower, doesn't it? So... I don't think this is her because it says this happened in 1921. And this picture, this is Chris Rafferty. And Chris Rafferty is here. I don't know how old he is, but I just don't think that he's that old. So I don't think that she's the woman in that picture that we were just on that I can't find for whatever reason. Where there it is. I don't think that's her. I don't know who she is. I have her right now as an extra photo for Susan, but I don't... Do those people look the same? Wait. Why do I keep losing this picture? Oh my god. You can't really see anything sideways, but she... I don't know. Those could be the same people. We haven't gotten this confirmed or denied yet because we haven't locked it in. But we have nothing over here. The only thing I kind of have is this name, but that's mostly a guess. Looks like an older version of her. With this one. I don't know. I just have that there for now. Especially because I don't really know who else it would be. I just don't know. I just don't know, like... how else I'm supposed to... Beth Knox. Do you think that... Hold on. Do we think Elizabeth Knox is Beth Knox, and therefore Elizabeth, it's not Cravensworth, it's Knox? Well, only one way to find out. Let's search through all of it here. Maybe I'll just search Knox through all of these. And we'll see if this gets us anything. Because we're pretty sure her name is Elizabeth. I can go back to the thing that says it whenever I'm done here. Okay, let me just search up Knox. No. Okay. Well, you know what? We tried. I gotta remember where it was. It was... Was it in here? I don't think so. No, I think it would be in my notes under Sam. I think. Yeah. So, it says that Ernie once asked his mom who Beth is because he overheard them, meaning his grandparents, Gwyneth and Elias, them yelling about someone with that name. So maybe, can I actually... Is Beth an option? Beth is an option. Maybe her name isn't, like, her full name isn't Elizabeth then? I mean, I just kind of assumed, but, maybe it's not. I feel like if she was in here, she would have came up with the last name Knox just being in there, but we can try. A whole lot of nothing. Okay. Let's look through... We can still get one piece of information out of this, apparently. I just don't know what exactly. Elizabeth once had a secretary named Elizabeth. So her name, is it Beth or is it Elizabeth? I'm so confused. I'm pretty sure we've searched up Elias already. Yeah. Pretty sure we've already done that. Maybe Beth Elizabeth. You know how doctors go by their last name? Well, she wasn't a doctor. Well, you know what? When in doubt, maybe get a hint. If you knew Lisa Clementine's occupation, you could probably place her... Lisa Clementine? Well, I already did that. So does that mean that this isn't right? Let me... Where is that picture? Here it is. Where does it talk about? The photo depicts Lisa. According to the article, women were not subject to direct combat, and Lisa was in a vehicle. The vehicle had to pull over suddenly when the road ahead. Okay, but like... I was saying I was sitting... Oh, okay. Well... It says military, but it doesn't say that she... I'm trying to see if there's, like, an indicator, like, on her uniform. Yeah, no, we know her last name is Clementine already. We already know... I know that that's correct. I know the picture's correct. And I thought I thought everything was correct, but with one small change, you might be able to. Lisa Lincoln? Lisa. According to military website, an amputee lost a limb in Desert Storm. She runs a support group. She makes another appearance listed as professor. Period. A military college teaches classes that contribute to their, okay, blah, blah, blah. Her short biography on the staff page mentions that she had a passion for the military from a very young age due to erroneously believing that a family member was an Air Force pilot. While she later learned that to be untrue, her passion remained and she joined ROTC in high school. From there, she enlisted. After returning from Desert Storm, she earned her degree and relocated to West Point to teach a few years ago. Okay, so now it should be correct then. Let's see if it shows up in here still. Okay, I think now we have it correct. I guess this picture wasn't recent, so it makes sense that maybe she would have changed her profession, but I didn't think of that. But now it should be correct. She wasn't really what I needed help with, though. Look into the author. So, you know what? The hints tell me things that I'm pretty sure I've already looked into, but you know what? Oh my god, she died in a hurricane. Bess was an author born in the late 1800s. She lived just outside of Miami and died tragically young in a major hurricane that struck the area in 1926. Bess has a minor history with the Roottrees. Her only notable book, Family Man, is widely considered blatant propaganda about Elias Roottree. It had been all but forgotten until recently when it was re-released during the height of Roottree mania. There's a site dedicated to hurricane statistics that also mentions Bess Williams. The Boca Dora Library, not far from where she lived, was partially destroyed in the hurricane. When they rebuilt, they named the nonfiction section after her. The library was expanded again in 1950 and then closed in 1963 when multiple larger libraries opened in the surrounding area. Okay? Period. Wait! I just had a brain blast. Before we look at this picture, let me go back to my notes for a second. Who's Beth? The author is Bess. Maybe Ernie Jr. misheard and actually heard Bess. Maybe the author of that book was who Elias was sleeping with. Thoughts? I don't know. I could just be speaking out of my ass. That is very possible. The emote. His statue in front of the Miami Print Museum, formerly that, north of Miami. It sits in the courtyard and according to their site is said to be of an unknown author. I didn't expect me to actually been able to. It's the way that I'm going to use a statue's face for the... But the fact that I can save this picture... Right? Come on now. What if I just put author? Thoughts? And instead of... Do you think Williams is even in here? Thoughts? I'm gonna keep that for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. We would still need one more. Because we need 5 now. Could be. Could be. Could be. Find multiple libraries in the area. According to the website for the library system in Miami, the building where it once sat is now the Miami Print Museum. Searching for the Miami, you come across their website, Cuba by Cubans. States their hours and a list of exhibits. The building is very small, blah, blah, blah. One of the exhibits in their courtyard, which includes a fountain, as well as a statue of an unknown author. Or that's wrong, and Bess is the one below in the cheating area. You know what, Emily? You know what? It could be. It really could be. It really could be that Bess would be down here, but we're just gonna keep Bess here for now. I was gonna be like, when I read that, I was gonna be like, you know what, Emily? No, but then the more I read it, I was like, you know what, Emily? Could be. Mother's printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, a now defunct weekly newspaper. The last is the original print of Cuba by Cubans. Okay, well, first of all, let's look up that. Oh. Miami Sunday has no records that you can find online or in your periodical search. It merged with another periodical and became the Miami Mercury Sunday. Okay. Newspaper. You find a small website about quirky printing history facts that mentions that the Miami Mercury Sunday was the outcome of merging two smaller failing newspapers. Okay. This resulted in one larger failing newspaper, which was only notable to the author because by combining the names in the way they did, it was tied for the longest title for an American newspaper at the time, with a newspaper in Jefferson, Texas. What if I searched Jefferson, Texas? Thoughts? Oh. Okay. A real newspaper called this. Okay. So that's Dick Diddley. And also this newspaper thing's Dick Diddley as well. But we can search this up. Ooh, okay, we know Marcia Barbin. Copy. Cuba by Cubans. It's a book of paintings of Cuba and is credited to Marcia. On second glance, it still doesn't seem related to your search in any way. You know what? Let me be the judge of that, okay? I love that the game's like, hey, no use looking into this, bestie. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Maybe if I search her in here. Okay. The game's like, yeah, I literally told you. I don't know what you thought. Okay. Let's search. Just making sure, literally. Piketty. News time. There's gotta be something, surely. Like, maybe not about this. Huh. But I feel like surely all of this, maybe the date 19 something. I'm pretty sure I've already looked this up. Whoops. Repenting of an old book, explaining, yeah. I've already looked that up. What if I... Oh, is this the full name of it then? Like, am I gonna get something different? No. Copies, but it was... Seems like we should... Okay, well... I love that we hit a brick wall here, you know? It just makes me feel real good. It's just like, I feel like we should have gotten something, but we didn't. I mean, we did. We got this. What do you think the hint says? Miami Sunday merged into, but that was short-lived. You want information on events before the merger. Did I or did I not already look into that? Am I balding? Was the newspaper Miami Sunday? The Miami Mercury. Period! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That was really loud. You know, sometimes my brain surprises me because I read this. I read that they merged these two names together. But for some reason, my brain didn't think to search both. You know, it's my fault for being a dumbass. Miami Mercury is now a defunct newspaper that merged, blah, blah, blah. Seems at some point during this process, it was at least partially archived. Okay. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. Mentions that... Ooh. Bess had a young son. Article about Bess Williams section in the blah 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 when his bill, it mentions that Bess's young son, now an orphan, was in attendance during the dedication, and also had later mentioned, the last year the paper existed, about a bidding war for a planned expansion for the library in 1950. The bidding was won by Wildcat Construction and included a new statue fountain in a second room that would double its shelf count. Okay, so I should search up. I should search them up then. Oh, or not. I'm full of burps. As mentioned, it was also mentioned earlier under the headline Constructing a Better World. Frank Wildcat... Oh. Frank. Thoughts for this being Frank? Frank's an option. And he's in construction, right? That's what it said, a construction worker. Okay. We're getting somewhere, guys. Oh, his wife Ophelia. That is such a cute name. Ophelia. I imagine she has a maiden name, and you have to use those on here. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Frank Wildcat Williams left Florida in 1941, a construction worker, and returned a hero. He won the Navy Cross for his bravery. Do you think he would be listed as a construction worker or military? Yeah, see, you would think that I would give her his last name, but on this family tree, it's said before that, like, the maiden names are the names you put on here. So, like, for example, with Stuart's wife, Regina, I put her maiden name instead of Clementine, which would be her married name. Having carried a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire, now he and his wife Ophelia are carrying his fellow soldiers through tough times at home. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company focused on creating opportunities for soldiers finding difficulty getting back to normal. Ophelia has handled outreach to the wives of local veterans, who are often able to provide insight into their husband's needs and conditions. She has, through such outreach, found 13 veterans of the war to serve as Frank's employees. The community support has been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive. It has gotten to the point where if Frank bids on a project, other local companies have decided to step back and let his soldiers handle it. This has become a bit of a sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as the bids are often not as low as they expected. The problem for them is that, essentially, Frank has a selective monopoly, but any attempt to circumvent it has caused an uproar and accusations of being un-American. It's unclear, no, it's uncertain what will become of Wildcat Construction, but at least for now, we're rooting for them. Right, so... no. I mean... oh. Hush my ever-loving mouth. There he is. No? You don't want me to have this other picture of it? Is he juggling hammers? He is juggling hammers, okay. Juggling hammers. Well, Frankie boy. Oh! Sorry, I didn't expect that to actually work. Period. Okay, we got... oh. I'm getting achievements. Okay, we got all of those. Mim, Emily, Bess, we got it fucking right. Oh, and we got that right. So that was Susan. Period. I always knew I was smart. Okay, so this whole area's done. We have this whole area done. This one done. We have this one done. We don't have this one done because I don't know. Like, I feel like I should know her spouse's name, but I don't. Okay, Susan, we'll have to come back to you. Okay. Awarded a Navy Cross, World War II, and the story goes that even after being struck in the arm with a bullet, he managed to carry a fellow soldier, blah, blah, blah. He died in 1996, age 74, in a retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. An obituary on the website of a local news channel that was written by a surviving family also sheds light on some of his personal life. He grew up an orphan because his family died in a hurricane when he was very young. He could barely remember his mother and had no memory of his father. His father's a root tree! He was a born joker and a shining light to those veterans who needed it most. Pretty sure I missed a lot of these. I think I skipped a sentence, but it's whatever. An anecdote mentions that he used to insist he married his wife Ophelia as a matter of courtesy and convenience. She wouldn't have to change her last name. How interesting. Oh, interesting. Oh. He's a guardian of someone? Or something. They had a kid together, but then, like, he adopted someone? I don't know. A photo's attached of Frank in his youth juggling hammers. Of one of the constructions as he was known often. According to the article, he's survived by Ophelia as well as his daughters Barb and Sharon. Sharon! I'm so confused. Sharon. Okay. Maybe, in here. Sharon. Okay. You think it's just Barb or is it Barbara? Okay. Hey, you know what? We tried. Guess we could try Ophelia. No. What was it? Sharon? I almost did Susan. Did I do Sharon or... Oh! Motivational speaker. She has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address is listed as in Coconut Grove, Florida. Hello, Barbara. She kind of eats. Her story will surprise you, uplift you, then energize you. Greta Jones. A lesson that anyone can take something away from. Vic Elmsworth. An intimate evening with a truly wonderful message. Isabel Crosby. Book Barb for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. She can customize her message for any audience. Period, Barb. This flyer includes 3 different testimonials from Greta Jones. Okay, we read those names already. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to look into them. Let's do Greta Jones. Okay, rude, first of all. Fortunately, it has no online web presence. You do find it listed on a giant list of television call signs next to the city Springfield under the heading Effingham County. We have to do a deeper dive on that specific city and state. Effingham County is the name of 2 different counties in the United States. One is in Georgia, the other is in Illinois. Well, Springfield's in Illinois. Hello? Springs capital. Okay. Fine, it's not located in. Okay. There could be a Springfield in Georgia, I guess, that I just don't know about. Oh. Okay, so... But it didn't give me anything. You do find it listed next to the city Springfield under the heading... You may need to do a deeper dive on a specific city and state. Springfield... When you find your search to television and are on Springfield, you come across a website. The list seems to only feature broadcasts with female news anchors. The person who runs the website has ranked each using 3 categories, none are relevant to journalism. Oh. One of the entries is Channel 12. The news anchor listed is Greta Flores. Okay. Well, we know it's Greta Flores. The news anchor apparently used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. Okay. Compared to the ordeal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you expect to find that she has a website of her accomplishments. She was apparently the MC for an all-female speaking tour in 1977. The tour was called Storytellers of Sisterhood, the Mothers and Daughters of Earth. You do a search for it, and it seems some of the stories were compiled into a book simply titled 25 Stories of Sisterhood. I do have a... This just adjusts the volume. It was a big brain thought. But all we can do is adjust the volume. Okay, copy. By Ayla Hale. Ayla? Period! This is an anthology of stories told on a few different Storytellers Sisterhood tours. One of the stories by Barb Williams has been added to your evidence. Okay, Barb Williams had a transcript. Okay, the first part of her story focuses on two 16-year-old girls. My sister Sharon, was a brat. Oh, me about my sister. Always sulking, often disobedient, never on time. She borrowed things without asking and even ran away from home, only to sneak back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter, Sharon, on the other hand... So, is her sister's name Sherry, or is it Sharon, and then she named her kid Sharon? Was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school. Maybe that's why she calls her Sherry. It was intensely artistic and creative, and even volunteered at an animal rescue. She continues to tell stories of the two girls until she shifts the narrative. What was the difference between Sherry the brat and Sharon the beauty? Is it nature, nurture, a better education, different opportunities? The answer is nothing. There was no difference because my sister and my daughter are the same girl. Oh. So... I forgot where I was for a second. So she had a kid, I guess, but they raised the kid like her sister? Oh. Barb reveals that her daughter was a result of, unexpected pregnancy when she was only 15. Met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in the nice part of town. He went to the good school. To a teenage girl, felt like a fairy tale. But there were boxes all over his house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. The final night, he surprised me. He planned to return to visit his grandparents. I thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again, and when I finally got desperate enough to ask around, a friend of a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. Baby girl, men ain't shit. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over, but my parents, they took charge. I had to live at home and work a part-time job, but they removed the burden of motherhood. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. Barb uses the story to come to a conclusion. When I was younger, I thought my sister was the brat, and I wasn't wrong, but she ran away from home to work at that animal shelter. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. It took me far too long to realize the beauty was always there too. In fact, the brat and the beauty exist in all of us. It was my inner brat that kept me blind to the truth, and I like to say it's the beauty in me that's finally able to see what I was missing. I implore you to call upon the beauties in yourselves whenever the brat tries to take hold. Okay. Me about you. Okay, Emily. So I'm guessing... Oh no, that was the news anchor, wasn't it? Am I bald? Am I balding? Where is it? Oh no, that's Barb. Barb. Oh. Barb Williams. Motivational speaker. Oh, public speaker. And, oh, because we don't know his name, that makes sense that he would go here then. We don't have a picture of Sharon yet. We could look her up next. Okay, you know what? We're filling things out over here, and I feel good about it. Okay. Can we search the dad? We did. We searched him. we found out the wife, and that's how we found out that these are his kids' names. But we're gonna search up Sharon next. Well, we did already. Maybe that's because she goes by Sherry. Oh, no, we know... First of all, I'm gonna search up Sherry. But we know that she opened... Where was it? Sherry's Hair. Sherry's Hair in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name. Sherry has a large van and on weekends can bring the style of Brittany, Christina, or even the Rachel to your door. Even the Rachel? The About Sherry section is very, very long and presented as one paragraph with multiple run-on sentences and no pictures. Brittany. You get the sense that if she were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. Mentions that her husband, Pete, was her late husband's college roommate. She and he had never... Her husband's name is Pete. Pete. Peta. And I'm assuming his last name is that one that I can't pronounce. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow, and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was grown beyond their ability to run it. She also brags about her kids, Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Okay. Wait. Hey, so... Wait a second. There's only 2 kids. Oh, maybe one's with... Maybe... Okay. Let me just read. Her oldest Tony seems to get the short end of the stick. His 2 listed accomplishments are that he's the oldest and he's a straight-A student. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently, his Little League team is nationally recognized. Cricket York is near the end and has an entire section dedicated to her. She's an actress on a local television show called Library, and the reason Sherry located from Miami to Orlando. Sherry, in addition to being hireable to come do your due, is a stylist for the show. Jiminy Cricket? I don't think so. The passage also mentions that her agent recommended they change her last name to York since it was easier to pronounce. The rest of the section describes how she got the part, but it seems unimportant to your search. Let me be the judge of that, okay? But considering that... I don't know. I was going to say considering Mark's the oldest, maybe her first husband would go here, I would assume. Because they never broke up. He just died. So it wouldn't be counted as a widow, or not a widow. It wouldn't be counted as a divorce. I know, library. But we don't know this first husband. Okay. Well, let's look up library. Let's go. What did we get? Oh, she's so cute. Promotional shot of Cricket York and the puppet Poof Tail from 1997. Hey, let's go. That's a good year. When she was on a show called Library. According to the site you found it on, the theme of the episode tackled why some people needed glasses. Period. Imagine this thing's on the family tree. Boo. How dare you, first of all. Okay, let's see. Library is a children's show filmed at a studio in Orlando, Florida. It's been on the air since 1991. In the show, multiple adults and children... Sorry, I'm burping. Multiple adults and children interact with different... So it's like Sesame Street. Different animal puppets in a small town called Library. Unlike some other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Oh, okay. Instead, it's paid for by donations from businesses related to education. This includes textbook manufacturers like Corethmetic, tutoring companies such as Educate2U, and a few well-known publishers of picture books. From what you can find, it's syndicated in a few markets across the southern United States and in New Hampshire for some reason. Like most other children's entertainment, many of those that grew up with it tend to have fond memories. That works in your favor because the show has been documented by a few fan sites. There's even a library webring, though it only has 3 entries. You click through the sites in the ring and find that Cricket York joined the cast in 1997 at the age of 5 and is still listed as a current cast member. Okay. So I'm guessing we look into these then. math textbook. They were in the news last year. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. When a primetime news program did a full comparison. Schools are complaining. News program announced that between the two books, there were only 16 total changes. Most notable was that the cover was changed from a picture of a water droplet creating concentric rings. Yeah, okay, that seemed to be pointless. Oh. Educate to use a tutoring service. They have a deal with Library, and it features some of the actors. Okay. According to the site, they actually provide tutoring for all of the actors and actresses on the show to accommodate their shooting schedules. Included is Cricket York, who's seen in a photo labeled Cricket and her brothers ready to learn from one of our talented tutors. You don't find much else about Educate to You, except that there seems to be a small subsection of Library fans who were deeply unsettled by the company's logo, which would appear after the credits on each episode. One writes, I was terrified of the little girl in the Educate to You logo. She looked like some kind of demon doll, and I'd race to the TV every day to switch the dial before her creepy laugh came on. Can we see the logo? Man, I wanted it. Oh, is that her? Is that the logo? Hate that, first of all. Okay. Okay, no, I think she would be his kid because they changed her last name to York because it was easier to pronounce. So I'm gonna assume. What was her first name? Anyone remember? Cricket. How did I forget that? Cricket. And her last name is still this, but is it legally this? I'll just put it as this for now. She's an actor, but can't forget Jiminy Cricket. I mean, the fact that York is an option makes me think I should put York, but like, that's not her legal name. They just changed it, I assumed, not legally. I'll put York, I guess, but I just don't think that that's correct. Maybe it's there to it could be there to throw me off. I'm gonna go with my gut and put the other one back. And then this one looks older. I don't remember what his name was yet. And I can't put the other picture of her in there until we verify her. It wasn't in here. It was in here, I think. Okay, Tony's the oldest. Don't know their last name, though. Oh, there's no Tony. Anthony, maybe? Anthony. Don't know their last name. Do you remember them saying that last name because you said, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, so maybe it is right. Yeah, because that's it. Is it in here, actually? Yeah, see right here. This is her married name. So that's her current husband's name. And her husband, Pete. Yeah, so her current husband's name is Pete. I don't know her first husband. I don't know his name. I'm gonna search maybe the boys. Not Pete. But what was it? What was the other? I literally just looked at it. Mark. Mark with a C for some reason. And I'm just gonna assume he's still K through 12. I'm gonna put that for both of them actually for now. Because they were saying something about the show was in 97 and she's still on the show. So I would assume these would still be in school. And I guess I'm good putting her as actor and not in school like her brothers. Because that's her profession, is actress. Yeah, see, it says they changed her last name to York, but like, I need to know if they changed it legally. But at least we know that, like, if this last name doesn't work, then we just change it to York. I still don't know. Okay, we need to figure out. I need to figure out. What do I need to figure out? I need to figure out the brothers. They live here, right? They live in Orlando. Miami's in Florida. Maybe York for the actor side of things. No. What was her store called? Sherry's Hair. Yeah, I don't know why that would be in Miami. Mercury, it's not in Miami. Okay. Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Okay, maybe we search up, like... Yeah, she relocated from Miami to Orlando. Okay. So... Oh, his Little League team is nationally recognized. So should we search, like, Orlando Little League? Little League. Nationally recognized. Okay, well. There's something in here that we can use. This is stylish for this show. Should I search this in here? No. I'm just gonna search this for all of these. Okay. This Little League team is nationally recognized. Cricket York. Okay. No. I just don't know, like... These are her kids' names, but it doesn't tell me... It doesn't tell me, like... Maybe I should search up her husband. Peter... I'm gonna copy this last name because ain't no way I'm gonna remember how to spell it. Oh, okay. Pete? No, okay. Well, you know what? We don't know Mark or Anthony's last name yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. No. Maybe... No, I don't think it is because... Yeah, they have a different dad. Is hairdresser an option? It is an option. Do I have a picture of her? No, I don't. Okay. Maybe... I feel like if I search Sherry, it's just gonna give me... Yeah. Let me search... No. Huh. Apparently we can get 5 things. Oh yeah, because we can search these other people. According to his own personal page, is apparently one of 3 brothers. All 3 of them are contributors to a newspaper called the Kikkiwa Falls Gazette. And he tends to focus more on the southeastern United States. All the articles he's written are archived on his site, including the long-form version of the review for Barb. Okay. According to Victor, he had seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church, and it was clear she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd, because she received a standing ovation, period. Barb started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. Okay. She spoke about the death of any person as a darkness in their loved ones, a cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there once was light. Because the light could never return exactly how it once was, she says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. Okay, when did this get so deep? Hello? Her conclusion was that finding the hidden meanings in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. She used multiple biblical comparisons and finished by looping back around to her initial story and how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law. Oh, this is period because her son-in-law would be him. Okay. And the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. It, the charity, was the light that began to fill the void, and she was doing everything she could to help nurture it. Period, Barb. Let's fucking go! Drew Smith. So probably Andrew? Yeah, Drew's not an option, so it's Andrew. Smith is such a basic last name. I'm sorry if that's your last name, but you gotta admit that it is. Not that my last name is any different. Anyways, let's just not dox ourselves on the internet. Smith. Okay, those two should be correct now. What did it give me? Look at him! He's so cute! Partial wedding photo from the website. Yeah, okay, so it's the rest is cropped out. Not you doxing. There he is. Okay, so we have some things going here. All we need is Sherry's picture. I mean, we don't need Peter's picture, but like that would be nice to have to fill that in. Charity focus on adding bike lanes to major cities. The pages and pages of news articles that mentions lanes across America have a similar summary in them. LAA was founded in '87 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Each year since, Lanes Across America has grown, and now they have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. The website for the charity is picture of Drew. Okay, should I search? Oops. Okay. Hey, you know what? We tried. Maybe... No. Okay. Well, we got that. So now let's come back in here. Isabel Crosby. You find no information. Oh. The superintendent of Benton County. Okay. Benton County. Oh. LAA or LAM. Formerly LAM. According to dictionary, you learn that the word means to hit someone. Apparently, lamb is too common of a word to provide you. Means to hit someone? Why would they... If this was about Lanes Across America and they did it because Drew got hit, why would they have it be called LAM, which apparently means that... Wait, hello? I don't know. You know what? I don't. According to a flyer is the superintendent. There's a Benton County in 9 different states in the U.S. There hasn't been a Benton County in Florida since 1850, so you're not sure which one Isabel Crosby comes from. Searching for Isabel doesn't lead to anything that seems to fit what you're looking for. Isabel Crosby. I mean, do you think I can search William? No. Okay. Let's search. I don't think we're gonna find anything, but okay. I think LAA is what they changed it to, because it's Lanes Across America, so I don't know what LAM would have stood for. Maybe Lanes Across Miami? I'm not finding anything. It doesn't tell me, like, which states have a Benton County. Okay, can I be honest, though? I know of one state that has one. No? Okay. You know what? I tried. Okay. Intimate evening with truly wonderful message. I just don't understand. No. I guess it just doesn't matter, but like the other two led me to something, so that makes me think that Isabel will. And apparently there's 5 things I can get from that. There's 2 more things I can get from this, but like... Can I? No. I don't know. There's more to discover about lanes. Is there more to discover about lanes across America? Is there more to discover? Because maybe I need to search it in here. I don't know. Didn't I already do this though? Like, I swear I already did this. Don't mind the dog barking. That's Emily's dog. LAM lanes, maybe. I'm a fucking genius. I'm sorry, but I just am. I don't know what to tell you. What's the new thing? Here it is. So we know that that's Peter then, because they were friends. So we know we have a picture of Peter now. That's Peter. Peter the horse is here. Oh! Let's go. Period. I'm getting achievements. Okay, so we got literally like that whole family. Period. Oh. Hello. Hello, Mom and Dad.
Hi again. I know you probably thought you were done.
No, actually, I didn't.
But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
Again.
Sam's over it.
Also, there's something really strange happening.
Oh.
I can't explain it.
That's menopause. Sorry, that was stupid.
Neither of us can.
What's happening?
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach. I just have a feeling.
Do we think I'm related to them?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring me things.
Just skip to the important part.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's.
Emily, you can't just sing Ghostbusters theme song when someone's bringing him hair. Someone brought him. It was Bonnie. Bonnie was Guy's. What? Wait. Do we think that Guy and his wife are still alive?
Bonnie is Guy's sister.
Oh, it's a sister.
She'd sent us her hair to test potential Roottrees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's.
Right, of course.
But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. especially right before we began testing the tree you provided.
Mm-hmm. Well, because Ruby's weird.
When I asked, she told me she thought the samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
Sure.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place.
I don't like it.
She seemed so knowledgeable. I don't like it.
I love Sam. Can I just say that?
You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on.
Okay.
You have an eye for anomalies.
Do I?
We need you to find the smoking guns.
Literally leave it to me.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a root tree,
or any you've got definitive evidence are Roottrees, then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
I mean, literally say less. Oh my god, that was such a fast turn. Anyways, back to this because I wasn't done, actually. Let me add the picture of you. Okay, period, look at this. We have all of that. I still don't know Sharon's husband's name. Oh. Wait. What is this? What is this? Oh, this is like saying that, like, if I'm sure that they're a root tree. Interesting. Oh, we love inconsistencies. Now's the time to review all possible root trees and input your deductions. You'll then be able to end your search and reveal the truth. You have 13 possible root trees left to identify. Oh, I'm stressed a little bit here. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in danger. I need to find out Susan's husband. It's gonna drive me nuts. According to Clark, Ruby, the company's lawyer, was caught throwing away the DNA samples from Bonnie. These were intended to be used to test new potential root trees. Something doesn't sit right with Sam, and the two of them asked for your help. They're hoping that with your evidence and understanding the family tree, you could verify which people in the dotted boxes are almost certainly legitimate root trees, very unlikely to be legitimate root trees, and which of them are too ambiguous to make a decision one way or another. Additionally, with a suspicion on Ruby Spratt, it's possible that some of her behaviors in the past have also been cast into doubt. A new section. Okay. I mean, Susan. How is that not? How does that not bring anything up? Susan. Where are the girls' picture? Her daughters. There they are. Butler County Times. Okay. Okay. What? How? Hello? The Ford twins. Hello? Like, and how did Heather not come up when her name's in this? Hello? Can I ask? Miss Susie Ford. Okay, that did dig diddly for me. I don't know her husband's name. I feel like I should have known by now, but I don't. Local students. Okay. Is there a name I haven't used? I'd actually think that would help. Daniel. Let's see. Emily. There is an Emily. I feel so dumb. And I don't know if... Is Ford her maiden name? It could be her husband's name, well, last name anyway, because The girls also have that last name. Well, I guess they got divorced, though. I have no idea. But I need to figure it out. It's gonna bother me. Will it tell me? Thanks to the Piketty, you can now determine Oh, I can determine Anonymom's identity using the company. Okay, I wasn't even thinking about Anonymom. How am I gonna find her husband's damn name? She doesn't talk about her husband at all, or am I just bald? It doesn't... I literally couldn't even tell you. What if... Don't look at me as I Google, okay? The Roottrees are dead. Susan Ford husband. Oh. Oh, I think I actually did know that. Everyone hold on. I know the name because I know I've searched it before, but I don't remember where I found the name. Anyways, I guess that's his name. Do I feel bad for Googling it? I do not. Because I just needed to get that done or it was going to bother me. And I didn't want to spend more time on it because I don't care about him. No offense, Thomas. Love that the girls have her last name, though. Bother me? What do you mean? Bother me? Emily, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Okay, so this is Anonymom. What did it say? Thanks to the Piketty article, you now determine Anonymom's identity. You said bother me. Did I? I don't think I did. Okay, Anonymom. Worked. Oh yeah, we also have potential lesbians, Emily. Anonymom and Corinne. Where's the... Let me go to... Love the gays, we really do. Anonymom. Her daughter's name was Courtney May. Courtney May. Don't know last name. Okay, she doesn't... Perhaps is named Corinne and that she filed for bankruptcy. They were in on it together. Says I can find it via company records, but I know that Corinne's in here. I've seen her. I don't remember where, but I do know that she's in here. Corinne. Do we think it's Beatrice? Thoughts? Okay. I'm just thinking because they were here together, and if Corinne's saying that she can vouch for Anonymom, then I'm like... she worked as a manager at a department store, so I guess maybe retail? Retail. I don't think I can save the... I don't think I can save these. She's blonde. We know that. Okay. Beatrice. No. Courtney. Not gonna lie, I did not expect that to count. I did not expect that to give me anything. Simple website with black text on a white background, a few images. From the view counter, you can tell you're one of only a few hundred people to have visited it. Let's go. We love guessing, we honestly do. She's not shy about claiming she is Jane Doe Roottrees. As proof, she has posted an unobscured cover from the time she was featured on News Time, as well as a different picture of herself that appears to be a wedding photo. The website seems to be created in defense of her mother, who has been the target of public scrutiny. Under the headline, The True Story of Jane Doe Roottrees, courtesy of Courtney May Newton. Okay, her married name is Newton. Formerly Watts, Courtney May writes, everyone has everything wrong. My mom approached the Roottree before 5Ps was ever on the cover of News Time. Nobody at the Roottree company took us seriously. They only listened to us after we appeared on TV and in magazines. Classic. The site has a scanned letter from the Ruby legal... Okay, hold on. I gotta put this in, I'm already in Anonymom. Okay, put this in here. The site has a scan letter from the Ruby legal group to Courtney's mother, Beatrice, period. In very polite legal terms, it seems to accuse her of exploiting their name and orders her to leave the Roottrees alone. It's dated from a few weeks before the 5Ps article, and it seems legitimate. Courtney May also discusses her mother's magazine feature in more detail. Do you know how difficult it was to convince anyone to tell our story? My mom didn't want to show her face because everyone in the media we approached assumed she was lying because her story was just like 5P's, but my mom's story was first. Mom was advised by Ryan and Cork to tell News Time that seeing 5P's on the cover was what inspired her to go public. That's the only way News Time would agree to it and help her get on TV. But it's not true. Our story was first. Period. Tell your truth. Courtney's defense continues, but much of it seems repetitive and useless. Okay, first of all, rude. Towards the end of the page, she discusses the DNA test and defends her mother's character. My mom is amazing. She's the nicest woman in the world. She has diabetes. I don't see how that's relevant. And works at a department store, but still managed to help pay for my apartment in the big city so that I could stay with my high school sweetheart. I got a degree in nursing, so I learned about DNA in college, but I'm beginning to think it's all a lie. Mom is 100% confident there's nobody else who could be the father. Either they did the test wrong or DNA is complete BS. She is not a liar. Okay. I mean, they probably didn't even actually test it. Can I be honest? Like... Okay, we have this. Courtney May and Danny together forever. Why does he look like Ken? I love the ambulance. My dad has diabetes. Oh, wait, why is she kind of... Beatrice. Okay, Beatrice. Britt. Emily, listen. I can explain. Okay, and then we have... Miss Courtney May. She's a nice. She's a nice. And her last name is Watts. And her hubby's name is Daniel. What was... What was her married name? What was it? Oh, here it is. Newton. Newton. And there's old guy. Okay. So we've got these. We got an Automom now. And you know what? I will say that... Oh my god. Smoking guns? Ooh, there's another clue to find. I'm also stressed. Can I just say that? Okay. Let me see. Who is Ryan and Cork? Oh. Ryan and Cork is an unremarkable law firm based in North Carolina, named after its senior partners, Winston Ryan and Gregory Cork. The first the firm mostly handles local cases and recently represented Anonymom. Their website has a section about the case, including a scan of the DNA test results that proved Jane Doe Roottree was not a Roottree. You think I'll find anything if I search them separately? Probably not, but I'm gonna try. Okay. Oh, this is a DNA test you got from the website for the law firm. The test says there was virtually no chance that Anonymom's daughter, Courtney May, was a Roottree. It lists that DNA from a Jane Doe was tested against the DNA of Bonnie Kellogg, this is Guy's twin sister. Ryan and Cork, who were representing Anonymom, have confirmed that the sample they sent to the Roottrees was definitely Courtney May's hair. The test is from a company called DNA Teco, and a doctor has circled the results and signed the paper. Yeah, so Jane Doe Roottree is Courtney May. She was a Jane Doe, but now we know her name. What's I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna put that in here. Put that in there. And this. Dynatico is a DNA testing company. DNA testing is a relatively new phenomenon that allows scientific laboratories to prove a possible family relationship between two people. It's fairly cutting edge. The method by which they test samples has only become standard in the last decade, as of the early 1990s. According to their site, DNA Teco was responsible for the DNA test that proved Felix Fellows was a Roottree, and even use it as an example of how a DNA test looks. They use it to provide some information about their process. Whenever they take a sample in person, they put the name of the person on the test according to their legal ID, which is why it says David instead of Felix. Because Guy Hudson is dead and there is no known DNA source for Guy, they tested Felix's hair versus a hair sample sent from the Roottrees. It's listed as Jane Doe because it wasn't collected in person, but the Roottree company let them know it was from Bonnie Kellogg, Guy Hudson's sister. This is why it says it is a paternal aunt test. The left and right sets of DNAs... What? The left and right sets of numbers? Oh yeah, for like real life detective to play this. Perfectly match... Wait, the left and right sets of numbers are essentially signatures that perfectly match the DNA of the two people in question and nobody else. The way the test works is that if certain parts of the signature are shared, then it's very likely two people are related. As far as you can say, DNA Teco is a legitimate company. They don't seem to have any reason to create fake results or hide the truth. Okay, so this is, according to the website, it's a famous test that proved Felix was a Roottree. They received a permission to post it as an example. The site says there's a 99% chance David Fellows is related to the alleged aunt who is listed as Jane Doe. As far as you can tell, DNA is a neutral third party. Okay. Is the Adrian Rowland, is that the same doctor? It is the same doctor. Huh. I'm just sus because I had like can I guess maybe because Bonnie's hair was taken maybe in person, because they said the reason why this says Jane Doe is because it wasn't taken from her in person, but this one has her name on it, so I'm sussing it out. Huh. I don't know. And I don't even really know what I read in here about the DNA. Essentially signatures that perfectly match the DNA of the two people in question and nobody else. These are off. Some of them are off by one. I'm not a genealogist. Is that what they're called that study DNA? So like, but this is only off by one. I mean, the numbers are different. Why? Okay. David has XY, which I think is correct. Jane Doe has XX. Okay, they both have XX because they're both women, I guess. For some reason, I thought there was something that was wrong. Huh. I mean, the evidence all points to her not being related, but just because that Anonymom was made such a big deal, and I also wouldn't put it past Guy to father another child, I'm leaning towards she is a root tree. I just don't know. I just don't have the proof yet, you know. Where's this? My cursor was literally on it. Ruby Sprat, it's possible that some of her behaviors in the past have also been cast into doubt. So do we have... Okay. We have all of this. Oh. The company records, which proves that they did work there. That doesn't obviously prove that... But the DNA test is against her on that. But they did it first, is what she's saying. My mom's story was first. Yeah, could be that we just... But maybe because if they were first, the DNA testing wasn't, like, they didn't do it right or something. I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna say she is. But, I mean, I guess we could probably change it if we wanted to. How am I supposed to know for the others? Guess it's just a gut feeling. Okay, I have all the evidence for this one. It does say Beth, but this is Bess. Now, it is possible, like, he misheard. But I'm gonna say this one for him, because I'm not sure. Do I have all the evidence for these? Yeah. I do think that these are... This... For Mark, I'm not as sure. But I'm just gonna say yes, because his brother, I think, is, so... I don't know about him, because... Why did it just zoom in? I didn't zoom in. Let's come back to him, and we'll do the other ones. I don't have all the clues for these guys yet. I don't know. I mean, their Guy has red hair, and this is brown, but, like, it could be because, like, their mom's blonde. Do I have everything for her? I don't have everything for her. Do I have everything for... No, I don't have everything for you. I have everything for these two. They have, like, dark... I mean, this picture's in black and white, but, like, their hair looks dark. Their mom's is dark, but, like, their dad has red hair. I don't know. And, like, this whole family is, like, blonde or, like, reddish hair. I'm gonna go with my gut and say that these are not. But I'm probably wrong. Okay. Do I have all the evidence for both of them? Is it the same? I think it is. Okay. I wish it would give me a hint. Wait, what is the things I do have? So, we know that... the Christmas tree bash, I think, is what it's telling me is the evidence. Then we have this one. Let's see. No. I don't know. What does the hint say? What are the songs on 5P's first mixtape cause controversy? His mixtape. Oh, one of these, maybe? Oh, was it... you think it was Heat, maybe? Maybe... Starlet? Teen Blast? Dirt 4. Oops. Okay. Was a mixtape. Let's search. There's some selling his old Dirty Devil. First mixtape. There's discrepancies and debates about what year exactly. One of the songs, Yes I Can Jump, seems to be center of confusion. Yes I Can Jump. White men can't jump. What? Oh. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a movie. I don't know. Seems to be the only song that make it. Okay, this reference has caused some confusion. He referenced a popular, so it's from 1992. And he says that he saw the movie on his 17th birthday, but that would have been in 94. You know what? I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna say that he's not a root tree. I have a feeling. I think Riley's his dad. Why does he have his dad's last name if... I don't think he's a root tree. And I will die on that hill. There's actually a lot of other things that I haven't found regarding him. Was that what it wanted me to find? You can still find more information. Okay, duck. The famous young man. Perhaps he was featured in another periodical. Probably, yeah. The duck is getting a little saucy and sassy with me, and I don't really like that. Can I be honest with you guys? Hunky hotties. Okay. While he hasn't done any interviews with the magazine, the duck said, tee. They've listed him amongst the hunky hotties for the past few months with small bios that tell you various facts about him. This includes, I guess I'll put this in here. It doesn't really matter at this point, but I'll put it in here. Includes his real name, David, which we knew, his birthday, February 9th, his star sign's Aquarius, and where he grew up. Letter to the editor also claims that it's not possible that he was born in 77, as he claimed on a song called 17 magazine that he turned 17 in 92. The editor responds with a statement that they've reached out to his agent to ask about the song and were told it wasn't performed by 5Ps and that they shouldn't print rumors. Sure. Sure. Okay, I guess we're looking up 17 magazine then. 17 Magazines, sometimes referred to as 17 Magazine, is the title of an unreleased and controversial song by Dirty Davy. There's mentions of it on a few sites claiming that it was on the first... Let me save this in there. Mentions of it on a few sites claiming that it was on the first release of its first mixtape but was removed. There's no audio or visual evidence of it existing, but there are independent accounts from people who have claimed to have heard it, and they do generally line up. According to their recollection, it was about many different loosely connected occurrences of the number 17, mostly violent. The intro states it was written on Davy's 17th birthday and involved a fictional but glorified series of murders at a fashion show for a teenage magazine with a similar name to the song title. The person doing the violence was apparently trying to beat Dahmer's high score, Jeffrey Dahmer, of course. Due to major acts of gun violence in schools earlier this year and the subsequent backlash against violent music and video games, it's generally considered in very poor taste to bring it up. Most of the people that enjoy mentioning it online are either trolls trying to shock people or come from the morbidly curious corners of the internet. Right. Okay. Oh, I thought magazine like the thing you read, but magazine's like a gun magazine. Interesting. You think we'll find anything in the periodicals? I don't think so, but I'm gonna search. Maybe I should search the Portland one. David... No. Silver Screen Magazine. Okay. I mean... Spider search. That's actually didn't mean to click that again. I think I found one more though. Huh. What did this say? Spider search result for Ruby Sprat. Let's see. She grew up in foster care, but excelled at school. Portland. Okay, Ruby Sprout was featured in the Portland Telegraph when she was in high school in an article called Local Teen Making Change for Foster Care System. According to the article, Ruby Spratt grew up in the foster care system, was apparently the valedictorian of her school, and was as a Girl Scout who, at the time of the article, was earning her gold award. This required a project to help the community. And Ruby chose to raise money to build a fountain she called Foster Fountain. The fountain has a few small pedestals that stick up high above the water. People are expected to toss coins into the fountain for good luck and will be encouraged to aim for the top of the pedestals. All the coins scraped from the bottom are slated to be donated to Portland's foster care system. A coalition of small businesses that sponsor the fountain have committed to matching any of the donations that successfully land on the targets. Okay. The Fountain of Youths, also known as Foster Fountain, is a fountain found in a small park in Portland. All proceeds from change thrown into the fountain are donated to the foster care system. A website for Portland's Parks and Rec mentioned under a trivia section that the Fountains of Youth was originally conceived by Ruby Spratt, an alumni of the foster care system. As more businesses signed on as sponsors, it grew in scope, even beyond Spratt's original hopes. The fountain is unique because it has special targets that visitors can aim their coins towards. If a coin lands on one of these targets, each of the sponsors businesses match it. This isn't a huge amount of money from each business, but more than 100 businesses have agreed to participate, so each penny becomes $1. Okay. No. The heck? Let's try Foster Fountain. No, that just brings me here. I think I have one for Ruby. Grew up in the foster care. Raise money. Who's Ruby again? I think she's a lawyer that works for the Roottrees. I don't know how this is relevant, though. Gold award. No, I don't think she's in the, well, as far as I know, she's not part of the family tree. She's just, their lawyer, I think. Okay. Parks and Rec? No. A website. Save game. Yes. We shall. I don't understand how that's relevant, but like, maybe I'm just missing something. Because it says that there's a website. But I tried looking this up. Maybe Parks and Rec. That's not how you spell Portland. No. Okay, what else do you have to say about Ruby? Sounds like she was a student at an institution. Yeah, she was a student at whatever it's called, mid something or other. But we knew that already, and I've searched this up before. Maybe search it in here? University. Is that what it's called? Mid-Eastern, not Midwestern. So just search the periodicals. Oh! Nothing! Okay, I'll just search them all then. I don't know how this is relevant. 'Cause nothing comes up. Nothing. Their mascot is the Spectres. Yeah, I made the Olive Spectre joke. You think we can find the Spectres in here? No. The answer to that is no. Yeah, I know about the heterolud. Ruby. Okay, she graduated top of her class. Valedictorian speech was somewhat controversial at the time as it was quite serious, with a heavy focus on wealth inequality. They didn't go over well, okay, because the audience was wealthy. Whatever. Editor of the Herald at the time, Ruby, unsatisfied by simply earning her place at Mid-Eastern with a full scholarship, went on to earn a captive audience of her peers with a perfect GPA. It felt like the ideal occasion for a celebration of an undoubtedly incredible individual. However, by the end of her speech, there were many in the audience that wished that neither of those events had transpired. It was a passionate attempt to use her soapbox to proselytize her fellow students and their parents into the religion of poverty, but unfortunately, judging by the silence, they remain unconverted. Hey, so what the fuck does any of that mean to me? Religion of poverty. No. Like, what do they want from me here? How does this matter? What do you have to say for yourself, duck? Mention that it goes by another name. This is so annoying because Like, if I search that up, it's just gonna give me the same damn thing. Like, I guess I can try and search for it in the periodicals. But, like... Am I dumb? Am I missing something? Okay. Found an article about the dedication ceremony for the local Portland landmark called the Fountain of Youth. Apparently at the unveiling of the fountain, the mayor of Portland made a speech, and there were performances by multiple local entertainers, as well as a ribbon cutting from the people most instrumental in bringing the fountain in, blah, blah, blah. Oh! The article calls out that all the performers and speakers, with the exception of the mayor, were foster care alumni, and most of them grew up together as close friends. This includes poets, musicians, and dancers. Dirty Davy. So she knew him. So that makes me believe even more that he isn't. And she just had his DNA things like altered. Which would make sense why then she would try and get rid of Bonnie's hair when they were trying to test it against whoever the fuck they were doing. I don't remember. Because she's a snake. Right, so what do we do now? Do we actually... Oh, we have everything for him now. I'm confident with my choice that he's not a Roottrie. As for everyone else, I don't know. The cookbooks seem pretty central to the Garland affair. There were cookbooks. Didn't I look into their cookbooks? Or am I bald? I might be bald. I don't remember. Is that his name? Robert? James? What was their names? What is Robert and James? Oh, it was in here, I think. Oh, my nose just made a noise. I'm confused because the cookbooks seem pretty central to the Garland affair. They're worth the cookbooks. Can I ask what cookbooks you're referring to? Because am I dumb? Oh my god, that's not even how you spell it. No, samosa cone. Samosa cone is the name of a dish. Okay, Duck, you gotta give me more than this. Seems like you found everything you can about garnishing the truth. But what about the other book? What was the other book called? Am I supposed to know? Fantastic. Who wrote it? Copy. Paste. Garland and Zimmer. Introduction, a series of acknowledgements from Steve. Finals to Mark. Fantastic. So, am I dumb? You found it in the public library, but the internet might have different information. Did I find it in the public? Am I being dumb? Okay, Kitchen Tales. Kitchen Tales? kitchen. I thought I did this already. Well. How did I not search that already? Whatever. Kitchen Tales was a story-based recipe book credited Mark Zimmer that had some success after it was featured on a morning talk show. The book released before the internet was widespread, so mentions are rare. One book collector states that the publishers were unprepared for the demand and that there was no second printing, so it's unusual to find a copy in the wild. You find an alternative medicine website which focuses on cooking with natural ingredients. It mentions that one of Kitchen Tales' recipes uses salt water. The owner of the site has included a scan of that recipe, which was added to your evidence. She says, if you switch out the salt water in the recipe for a mix of 2/3 spring water and 1/3 filtered seawater, it tastes great. And why is that relevant? Oh, Jesus Christ, okay. Okay, Kitchen Tales is a book. Okay, it demonstrates how to bake the plated loaf. For years, two bakers, Flora and Yates, flirted. They grew their friendship, compared recipes, and combined knowledge. She loved his salt and pepper beard. He adored her rosemary cheeks. They thought sweetly about one another, but he was one day whisked away, conscripted to bake the army's bread. By the oil of the lamp, Flora's tears began to salt her bread. Excuse me? The recipe asks the reader to combine flour, yeast, sugar, olive oil, and rosemary, combine the salt and water together, and add to the mixture and whisk until the dough begins to form. It was 10 to 12 years later that they met again, seemingly by fate. Flora's unique dough had earned her a position as the king's personal baker. Yates had found success as well. He baked for the kingdom's 45 diplomats. One day they returned from the Dutch Isles with a gift, 450 unbaked loaves, and were sent to the palace bakery to teach a method that required no kneading. Allow the dough to proof for 10 to 12 hours, then spread it out and let it sit for 45 minutes on a floured baking sheet with no kneading. Next, prepare a Dutch oven preheated to 450 degrees. Upon seeing Yates, Flora was both delighted and distraught. She felt as if she was torn in two. She had not been made aware of the gift and had already prepared buns for the palace ovens. She wished to greet Yates warmly, but was struck by fears that he had been unable to bake with her, that she'd face retribution for being unprepared. She cried to Yates, adding more salt to her dough, cut the dough into 2 equal pieces, and lightly sprinkle salt across the top of only one of them. Yates eased her pain. He insisted she had no obligation to prepare for a return she thought impossible, but he shared her fear of retribution. He knew if they did not solve her predicament, they'd miss their final chance to bake together. In the end, instead of wallowing in the present, they worked together to shape the future. They twisted and entwined their doughs and baked them as one. Thus was born the plated loaf. Word quickly spread of this new delight. The king's decree on royal parchment was that it would be considered a delicacy. Roll and twist the pieces to entwine them, then take the twist and wrap around the inside of the Dutch oven, atop parchment from outside, inward to make a spiral. Bankrolled by the king, Flora and Yates spent their days baking together. They traveled for 45 years, then settled down for 15 more. Their souls were golden, with no regrets. Lastly, bake for 45 minutes, remove lid, and observe until crust is golden brown, which could take up to 15 minutes. Okay. The fuck did I just read? Hello? Like... Okay, so that was obviously about some kind of affair, right? I think the story, like, there's the recipe for making the bread, but, like, there's also the story. And I think the story's about some kind of affair, because it's what it said in here. Oh, well, it's not in there anymore. And information about them was not there. Little low chef's signature. I know it mentions their parents in here. That's how they met. I don't have any members of the farm. Anything like my dad's a great storyteller. Huh. I feel like these guys could be Roottrees, but I don't know. What does Duck say? Okay. Business is not says anything about, because we have all the evidence for them apparently. I'm gonna say they are, because if this, not that story. What were we just reading? This one. If this story is anything like maybe... Huh. I don't know. I don't know if they're root trees. Because I'm like, the story doesn't seem like it's about, like, it seems like it's about their parents, but, like, is that their parent? Or is their parent actually Guy? Because with their hair color, I could see that being their dad, but, like, I don't know about them. What did it say about... Business Watch article about Ling Tai mentioned another company. Business article about Ling Tai. Oh. Business Ling Tai. Mentioned what? Another company? It did it? I mean, I don't think this is a company. Medical procedure. Love that it tells me this. Why is that relevant? Soon the industry began to grow. CEO, husband. He paid to have their child. Shut up, Emily. Search for... Oh. See, I thought this was a person, or I also thought that this was what was their... I thought that was what their money was called. Like, company was mentioned once in an article you already read about the head, but then again later in 1994, there's a long article that spells out a huge controversy. It seems that a whistleblower came forward to the U.S. government about... I'm not even going to try and pronounce... I'm just going to call them Jeans, which was said to have been founded in China by a partnership involving American and Chinese medical specialists who then built their medical facilities in the United States. The article mentions the whistleblower's claim. Genes will sometimes claim that they performed IVF when they did not. This would often be used as an excuse for an otherwise unexplainable pregnancy, which I kind of knew. They'd fly their clients to America, where they would stay for an extended period of time, then return to China with news of a successful IVF pregnancy. The whistleblower apparently presented the Department of Health and Human Services with credible evidence. At the time of the article, it was still an ongoing investigation, but Business Watch speculated, after copies of the proof were leaked to various media sources, that they couldn't imagine a world in which the company would be allowed to continue operations without facing serious legal or financial consequences. What if I search them here? Nope. So... So it was saying... where is it? His younger daughter, Ling Xingyao, and her husband could not have children, so in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid genes to have their child, implanted in his older daughter who was unmarried. But it sounds to me like maybe she just couldn't get pregnant, or she got pregnant but she wasn't married, and that's what they said to... Do I have all the evidence for her? Oh, I do. Period. I don't know about her. I feel like she could be. I feel like it's possible, but, like, surely all of these people are not actually blood related. I'm gonna go with might be, because I'm not 100%. Now we're over here to Flavio. Many of our international people of interest are prominent company leaders. What do you mean by that? You have a resource that focuses on important business leaders and their companies. What? Sonia Alves. Perfect. I'm a wee bit confused. Sonia. No relevant results. Seems that Sonia Alva is a fairly common name. Is that not her name? Edson. Hey, Aiden. I'm confused. Where? Aiden, you're not gonna come in here and lick your bits. These guys. Oh, I need their names. Maybe if I search up Sonia. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Maybe they want you to think that. What did it say? You have a resource focused on important business leaders and their companies. I'm pretty sure I already looked him in here, and it's not even in there. And his mom. But I tried searching her up. Oh, that's not gonna help. Sonia. But I tried searching Alves and nothing came up. But I just searched this up earlier. Hello? Okay. This, maybe. In there? Come many times, business watch due to their status. There's too many results based on one-off mentions and name drops for anything to be useful. Okay. Huh. She wanted her name to stand in the public eye. You should try searching for her nickname, which I did. And I did it in here, did I not? Mention her by name. Most relevant appearance seems to be an article about the struggles of American media companies to do business with their foreign counterparts due to a difference in laws. A few media groups and countries are discussed, including those in Africa and the Middle East. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. And Brazil is also discussed. Due to lack of freedom of speech laws in Brazil, there has been added bureaucracy in publishing certain stories on channels. Nia is extremely private about her identity and supposedly once used her connections to have a reporter fired from a rival network and blacklisted. The journalist claimed that this was to shut down a story he was doing about her personal life, including that her marriage in 1973 was not of her own choice. His research claimed that she essentially had her husband forced upon her as a child bride at the age of 15. Child brides were not outlawed in Brazil until 1990. It also claims that past appearances with her husband have been for show, they do not live together, and that she resents her own parents for the arrangement. The final claim was that she must have made her money under the table through nefarious and possibly illegal means during Brazil's dictatorship, as his research uncovered that she could not possibly have earned enough to start a media company otherwise. After making the statement, the reporter went into hiding in fear of his safety. Okay. Well, she's not. It would be her son. But what would make sense, though, is it just said right here that she must have made her money through, like, nefarious or illegal means, because how else would she have been able to start her media company? But what I'm thinking is, if her son is a root tree, she was getting child support or hush money, so that could be how she funded her media company. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't know, with his hair color, I'm thinking he could be. But I'm gonna put a question mark because I'm not sure. I don't feel sure about really anything here. 2 possible root trees left to identify. Do I? Do I? Or is it... What? Ron and Robbie are in a dotted section of the tree. This warrants some investigation. Ron and Robbie? Where the hell are they? Over here. Why are we... Okay, so apparently we're going back to question Ron and Roberts. This is random. Warrants some investigation, okay. I guess. Ron Root. That's Rob. Robert said me first. Announced as president of Roottrees during the Roottrees rift, but the next press release immediately makes you question they aren't a Roottrees. That's what I'm saying. Immediately first announcement stated that Ron and Clark would take over. A few weeks later, Ron was dropped from the title entirely. There are hundreds of results about this development, but most articles are retelling of basic details. Some veer into heavy speculation based on an article about Ron in Business Watch. Interesting. You don't say. Okay, I'll come back to you. Wait, I've already seen it, apparently. Ron has also done some interviews saying that the truth of what went on behind the scenes is not something he wishes to discuss. Instead, he hopes to release a movie about it someday. 3 weeks ago, Ron's mother, Gwen, died in Paris. He and his brother, Robbie, have seemingly made amends. Not Gwen. Oh. Robbie was released from French prison after serving a few years for assault. His embezzlement and arrest were partially featured in 6 pieces, as Robbie's participation in the Clancy Trust was a key piece of evidence in Sam's favor, and have since become much more publicly infamous. He has not yet returned to the United States, but when journalists reached out to him recently after the death of his mother, he had issued a blanket statement a few days ago. The death of my mother was hard on our family. My brother and I, after spending time together caring for her and mourning, have finally made amends. It was a highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery from my addiction, and a major aspect of that process is that I wish to stay private. Okay. Yeah, I've looked this up already. But I don't think I did Robbie. No, he just shows up in here anyway. Seem too eager and personally motivated. The families and person unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. What does the duck say? Should look into Ron and Robbie's family and affairs again. Maybe something has changed? Ain't nothing wrong with Gwen. She died in Paris. Okay. So let my girl rest in peace. Walter, this is their dad. Okay. He didn't make an appearance at Gwen's funeral? Because of his absence, there are rumors online he must have already died, but according to a reporter that tracked him down, he's in his 70s, still lives in Paris, and is still in perfectly fine health. He even went on record as saying, I think it was Mark Twain who said, the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. That seems appropriate today. The few years I spent with Gwen were just one stop along the very long and complicated journey that has been my life and career. The last time we spoke was when I signed the divorce papers. She asked me never to contact her or the kids again. I've always respected those wishes. They never reached out to me either, even as adults, so I have to assume they have some idea of why she hated me so much and the sacrifices she made on my behalf. I wish them well and am sorry for their loss, but we've all been strangers for 40 years, so I can confidently say they wouldn't have wanted me to be there. In fact, I'm confident my presence would have ruined it. Maybe they're not Roottrees then. I'm gonna put that like that for now, but I want to search up. I want to search. Silver Screen Magazine. Starlit. Okay, this one's not been updated. Okay. What does the duck say? She mentions her most famous role. Oh. You know, I thought about searching that, but then I didn't. Guys Like Us. We had a different mom because the dad cheated. No, because they lived with Gwen, so you'd think if they had a different mom, they would live with their dad. Comedy film, which two secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with their client and hilarity ensues, starring Gwen Roottrees, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. It was fairly popular at the box office and made its budget back, but it was seen as somewhat formulaic, so it didn't really stand the test of time compared to other classic films of the era. It was recently released for the first time on home video due to Roottrees mania. The time it took to manufacture and ship VHS copies of Guys Like Us meant that it missed the height of the craze, which only lasted a few weeks. Even so, it did sell modestly well, and there have been talks of a remake. So what did that do for me? Should look into the... Oh. See... Okay. Was the other actress in Guys Like Us. For Guys Like Us, she was in very few very small supporting roles, and her performance in Guys Like Us was generally thought of as quite good, especially considered she got second billing to Gwen. Even with the success and acclaim, she retired from Hollywood almost immediately after her co-starring role. Not much was known about her until recently, when Guys Like Us was re-released right at the tail end of Roottrees mania. Recently, as part of the myriad of articles and research people have done into the surrounding the Roottrees, it came out that she died of a genetic disease known as Huntington's in the late 1960s. Okay, Harrison Lane. Find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available. Married his high school sweetheart. They reunited at a movie premiere. Did he now? Was his high school sweetheart Gwen Roottrees? Films are not available on AVHS. Site is not well organized. Was a television actor, major role in Guys Like Us and other films. Largest role before God was as the villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. The popularity of Guys Like Us, studio brought Land back to play the villain's brother. This time as a hero, joining the protagonist. Harrison Lane, like I'm sensing he's their dad. What do you have to say for yourself, Duck? You can often find information on people by looking into their spouses. Well, only one of them has a spouse that we know of, Penelope Tessa Green. Penelope. Comedian Penelope Tessa Green was part of the recent fundraiser at the Reno Comedy Club, The Laugh Lounge. About a month ago, the fundraiser was called The Best Medicine and was to help find a cure for Huntington's disease. According to the website, she released a statement. Up until recently, I didn't know anything about Huntington's, and the last few months have gone from knowing nothing about it to learning more than any one person should ever have to. Until less than a decade ago, it was impossible to predict if someone susceptible to Huntington's had the disease. But due to advances in medicine, tests have been developed. Hopefully this increased awareness is the first step into finding a cure. Please join me for a night of comedy for a good cause. Okay, so the fact that it mentions Huntington's again, and we know that Leslie, I think it was, died of Huntington's. And it's genetics, so the fact that Penelope, who is Ronald's... Let's take a look. It's in a book, Reading Rainbow. Wasn't there... Didn't the brothers have beef because Ronald, I think, wanted to take Robert out of the family tree? But I don't remember why. The best medicine. Okay, that doesn't really give me anything. Maybe I should look up the Laugh Lounge? No. Okay. Penelope Tessa Green. Okay. Spider search for RR Productions. Oh, seems to have no project list in development other than Guys Like Us remake. Guys Like Us remake has been discussed a few times on a website about upcoming films called Movie News. The logo is a cow, of course. The rumored cast Cameron Diaz, period, in the role originated by Gwen. Linda Fiorentino, don't know who that is, and Chris O'Donnell, which I know who I've heard of them. According to the leaked news, the remake has been put on indefinite hiatus due to its director, who is speculated to be Ron Roottrees, dropping out in the wake of a serious medical issue, though that's only a rumor. Why am I thinking that Robbie is a Roottrees? He is Gwen's kid, but Ronald isn't. And Ronald is actually that Leslie girl's kid, but I don't know why Gwen would have him unless she just adopted him. I don't know. Do you think I can search Cameron Diaz? No? Okay. Interesting. Can I search this up? No. That's really interesting. What else do you have to say for yourself? You've seen 2 different mentions of Huntington's disease. It would probably be good to get... Did I or did I not search that up already? Huntington's. Neurodegenerative disease that most recognizably causes memory issues and uncontrollable movements in the limbs. After symptom onset, somewhere between age 30 and 50, those affected by Huntington's typically live another 15 to 18 years as their symptoms worsen. There is no cure. Huntington's is passed genetically from parent to child. The gene that causes Huntington's works in such a way that if a parent has the disease, there's a 50-50 chance that their child will get it. Huntington's cannot be passed on recessively, meaning it cannot skip a generation. In other words, if someone has a mother or father with Huntington's, but they themselves did not receive it from that parent, their children and their grandchildren and so on will also never have it. Until the early 1990s, it was impossible to test for Huntington's. Instead, symptoms would usually appear later in life. This would often be after the person affected already had children. It would then be impossible to know if their children had it, as it was a 50-50 chance. In 1993, due to determining which gene causes Huntington's, it did become possible to test children for it and know if the disease was passed on or not. For a variety of complex reasons, however, children are considered unable to consent to such a test and are therefore very, very rarely tested unless they're showing early symptoms. Okay. So we know for sure that... Didn't one of the kids have it and the other one didn't? It did say that there was rumors that Ron, who was supposed to be the director of the remake of that movie, was sick, but it was obviously just a rumor. But it would be interesting because we know for sure that Leslie died of Huntington's. So that's why I'm thinking, shut up about the voice crack, Emily, I know you're typing. That's why I'm thinking he's, for some reason, Leslie's, what does it say about Leslie? It doesn't really say that she died in the 1960s, so maybe, I don't know when Ron would have been born. Well, he would be probably about Clark's age. They were born in the same generation. So, let me get my calculator because I'm bad at math. 1999, right? I think. Is it 1999? It's either 99 or 98. I'm gonna go with 98 minus 1960. 38. That's possible. So maybe if Ron is that Leslie woman's, if he is her son, maybe Gwen adopted him because his mom had it and was gonna die or something. I don't know. Got information on people related to Ron and Robbie and periodicals in your last Michigan. Might be useful to revisit those. Find out if Ron and Robbie, you're going to need to look into their parents. Did I not do that already? Okay, I'm just gonna search Leslie in here. Nothing on Leslie. Nothing. When? Okay. Oh! Found all the smoking guns? She was often in Starlit. Most mentions were around the time of her divorce in 1958. From Wild Bill Williams. Gossip is speculative and full tabloid stereotypes. Some of it focus on the fact that when she announced her divorce, she also announced she was pregnant again. Others mention that the rumor is Wild Bill had multiple affairs, which left her heartbroken. So it could be that Wild Bill slept with Leslie and that's where Ron came from? Because we know that Ron's older than Robert. You have a child on the way. What is Leslie's last name? Florence, never mind. Well, I got an achievement, so I did something. But, like, I don't... So, okay. If we know that Leslie died of Huntington's in the late 1960s. The late 1960s. And these two divorced in 1958. I don't know if my brain's doing anything here. Apparently I did something, but like, oh, I did it. But I don't really know what I did. I'm just gonna do I'm ready. Finished Roottrees Mania. But first, okay, we got Thomas, we got Daniel, we got that, we got that, we got that, and that. Period. You did it. Family tree complete. Let's go. Oh, My parents are here again.
Beatrice and Courtney May. Clark, can you swing another test against Bonnie's DNA?
This time I'll be sure to have them verify both
Yeah, you
samples
should.
in person.
Oh, a week later. Oh, my parents are back. Oh, just one.
Using the family tree you filled out, as well as DNA tests, we were able
Ooh,
to uncover the
give
truth
me the tea.
behind all the inconsistencies.
Can you imagine I got all of them right?
Clark's
I doubt
handling
it.
the business, but I've come to thank you and fill you in on everything we've learned.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, because it's been one heck of a week.
Period. Tell me all about it.
Actually, that's an understatement. It's not every week you discover your family company is being sabotaged by someone
Yeah.
they trusted. But that's the kind of time we've been having. Like I said,
There he is.
buckle up. Maybe grab some popcorn. We'll start with Guy Hudson.
Okay.
Guy had a frankly ridiculous number of potential children.
Yeah.
What shocked me is how many graduated from potential to confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
We can even prove he was aware of them. The smoking gun was how he used company money to pay off a lot of women.
Yeah.
He hid it with a method inspired by his idol, Elias. 5-piece flavors. The flavors he was paying to research were a ruse. He developed flavors based on the initials of the women he was paying.
Oh.
Which was really stupid, considering one of their names started with X.
Yeah. I didn't even notice this. I guess I never really looked into the flavors for him because he just, no offense to him, he didn't matter that much.
Let's start with Christine.
Yeah, let's
Guy
start
was
with her.
paying her under the name Caviar. But there were some other clues. James was born 9 months after Zach's party.
Who's James? Oh. So he is... Did I say he was? I don't
Christine
remember,
was
if I'm
there
being
with
honest.
Guy, and when she got pregnant, she panicked. Steve stepped up. He
Stevie.
even turned it into one of his recipe stories.
Okay.
Not all of Guy's affairs led to offspring. He may have slept with Robin Martin, but she didn't have children, so we'll never know.
That we know of.
Also, not every child of Guy's affair partners were his. Robert Garland was born after his parents had already moved to Boston.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember which one I said. Oh. Can it tell me if I guessed right? Because I don't remember. I think I guessed
Skipping
both of them
Beatrice
were...
for now. Up next is Leng Xinyu.
Yeah.
When Guy showed up in China, she was into America. And Americans. Dare I say redheads, even?
Yeah, I think I got the guys... Well, I got one of them right, because I'm pretty sure I said both of them were his kids. I completely forgot that he did say that his brother was born 3 years after him. That would have made sense, but I completely forgot about that until she just told me about it.
When she got pregnant, her father paid key genes to fake
Key
IVF.
genes.
They claimed her sister was unable to conceive.
Yeah, that one was obvious.
But her sister and Jerry had their own son.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. I can't remember if I said she was or not. I think I had a question mark for her.
Sonia Alves was soon after. Nia was married at a very young age to a much
There's a mark
older
with a C and a
husband.
mark with a K.
She resented him. I don't blame
Yeah,
her.
don't blame her
They
either.
allegedly spent no time together in private. Guy was in Brazil during Christmas 1979. It's the only Christmas not in the records.
Classic.
Flavio was born 9 months later, and like the others, Guy started paying Sonia.
Yeah. I think I had a question mark for him too, but I actually can't remember.
Last was Susan Ford, hired to translate for Guy's overseas trips. It's easy to read into Guy's donation to her school, but there's no definitive proof there. She and Guy were witnessed together near the end of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Susan's husband was convinced he couldn't be the father of her daughters. Guy, though, paid double.
The price
The
of twins?
price of twins.
So I think I said they both weren't, so I guess I got that wrong.
So, what about 5 Ps? Felix Fellow's mother, Joanna, doesn't have a 5 pieces flavor.
Yeah, there's no way.
On top of that, his story doesn't really add up. His mother already left the company by the time Guy
Yeah.
became president. and his lyrics indicate he was born sometime around 1975.
Yup.
Alone, that wouldn't necessarily prove it. But there are some suspicious connections between Felix and the company's current lawyer,
Yup.
Ruby Spratt. They both grew up in Portland, in foster care, and according to the local paper, they definitely knew one another. Ruby was the one who approached the Roottrees to begin with. It was all a setup.
Of course it was.
Ruby and Felix saw my book's challenge to the Clancet Trust as an opportunity. His mother really had worked for Roottree, and Ruby was a respected lawyer.
Well,
she exploited my family's greed, worked her way into control of the trust.
I mean, fair
and
enough.
ensured
She
Felix got a
worked
piece.
it, but
they made some mistakes along the way. If you look at the 2 DNA tests that Ruby handled, they were both supposedly tested against Bonnie Hudson.
Yeah.
But the 2 signatures that should both represent Bonnie don't match. After Clark and I confronted her, Ruby lawyered up. Ironic, I know.
The 2 signatures that should both represent Bonnie? Like these? I guess I didn't really look too much into them. Oh, it does says it right here. I didn't really compare and contrast.
We suspect Ruby had Donatico test Felix against his own mother's DNA. He had a hairbrush of hers. They sent the female sample in remotely. On the second test, Bonnie's sample was tested locally, but Courtney May's was not. Ruby's been throwing away samples.
Yeah.
We think she sent her own hair instead of Courtney May's, but it could have been anyone's.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Courtney May is, and I think I got that right. I can't remember.
Ruby and Felix were in cahoots.
Cahoots?
As for why, they were both advocates of wealth redistribution. A noble effort. But once they controlled the family fortune, they became just as greedy as the worst members of my family. The money corrupted them. They were so eager to personally wield the wealth for their own cause that they sabotaged any other claims.
Sabotage! Big red X. I knew it.
That finally brings us to Anonymom, a.k.a. Beatrice Watts.
I don't like how she
Her tales
pronounces
of guys'
Beatrice.
parties and payoffs were true. She even approached Ruby before 5Ps was on news time. Ruby used Beatrice's truths to make Felix's lies feel real, then ruin the DNA test so that Beatrice looked phony in the public court of opinion. I feel worst for her in all of this.
Yeah. Period. I knew it.
While Ruby and
I think I got like
Felix
2
told
right.
the show, there were some other potential new family members as well. Miracle Roottrie was less of an open and shut case. That said, it's very likely he had a son with Mary Beth Clementine.
Clementine.
Not Stuart. Mary Beth adopted him before she ever set foot in Butler County.
Okay, I got Stuart wrong.
That leaves Mark. The timeline fits.
Is there 3 different Marks?
He showed up about 9 months after Mary Beth visited Miracle, and the basket baby story is a bit too convenient.
Yeah.
If that's not enough on its own...
Oh.
He was also bailed out by the sister of Edith Roottree, Miracle Jr.'s wife, after she changed her name.
That should have been obvious.
Contest.
But it wasn't.
Our best guess is that Mark was told by his mother whose son he was, and used that fact to put some pressure on Miracle Jr.
Miracle.
We have no real proof of that, but nothing else really makes sense for why they'd be connected.
I knew it was weird that like she was related to them, but then why would she help him? But then obviously it's because that's his cousin, wife, aunt, uncle, whatever. I got Stuart wrong. I said yes to him and I think no to him, but I don't really remember.
Elias's affair was the most ambiguous. Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias to do things he wouldn't have otherwise done.
Yeah.
Like pressure to include me in the family.
She used his affair as leverage.
My son even mentioned them arguing about someone named Beth. Combined with Gwyneth's lisp, it's possible the name was actually Bess. Unfortunately, all we know about Bess Williams is that she wrote his book and died not long after, leaving her only son an orphan. The timeline fits with Wildcat, but there's no record if she had any other relationship. Honestly, I wouldn't say we had enough evidence either
I can't believe
way.
she just called him Wildcat, like, seriously.
I wouldn't be surprised if Elias cheated. Of course, I'm a bit biased. Regardless, we haven't gotten in touch with any
I
of the
can't remember
Williams
if
clan yet.
Emily, your dog's annoying. I can't remember if I said he was
That
or
means
not.
we haven't been able to do a DNA test. As Clark mentioned, from here on out, all of our DNA tests will be in person for both parties.
I can't remember if I said yes, no, or the question mark for him. I think it was a question mark for him, but I could be wrong.
We have a bit of a curveball. Ron Roottrees isn't related to us by blood. Gwyn was definitely pregnant.
I think I got
so
this one
it's
right,
likely
though.
Robbie is. When Ron and Robbie went to visit their mother at the end of her life, something changed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Additionally, there have been a few rumors circling around Ron.
Mhm.
RR Productions canceled the Guys Like Us
Ignore
remake
Lily,
due to the,
the dog.
director's illness. At the same time, Ron's wife Penelope began doing benefits for Huntington's disease, stating that she had become familiar with it. Huntington's is the same disease that Gwyn's former co-star Leslie Florence had. It's passed from parent to child. It can't skip a generation.
Yup.
Because Gwyn and Wild Bill didn't have Huntington's, and Ron seems to, it's impossible Gwyn was his mother. I recently confirmed all
She
this with
raised
Ron.
him like he is, or was.
At the end of her life, Gwyn told Ron the story. Leslie and Bill had an affair the same year Leslie learned she had Huntington's. Leslie got pregnant. Leslie wasn't likely to survive to see her child grow up. And even if she did, she didn't want to be a burden. She begged Gwyn and Wild Bill to adopt her child.
The way she calls him Wild Bill, like with a serious, like she doesn't call him his government name.
Gwyn did. Mere weeks after she found out she was having her own son, she also took in Ron. Wild Bill was a problem.
Most men are.
Unreliable and a serial adulterer. Gwyn divorced him and never saw him again.
As she should.
Gwyn had already told Starlet she was pregnant, so it never really made waves when people saw her with a child in Paris. There was gossip during her divorce when she was discovered to be pregnant again. In actuality, it was the final months of her only pregnancy. To lay low, she stayed in Paris long enough that even her own family never had reason to question the timeline.
Okay.
It's one heck of a story, and frankly, nobody could be expected to piece the timeline together. Not with what few mentions of Gwyn's past have survived. But the Huntingtons itself?
Yeah.
That's proof.
That is proof. Period.
Ron suing Robbie to remove him from the Clancet Trust was a huge moment in my story, and a major catalyst for this entire investigation. Finding out that it's been pretty much backwards this whole time has been a bit surreal.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. Looking over the information
Ron wanted Robbie out of the Clancet Trust, but it turns out Ron's got to be out of the Clancet Trust because he's not a root tree. Interesting.
Without your tree, I'm not sure we would have ever discovered Ruby.
You're welcome, baby. Love you.
All this information, this entire story, it's a lot.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. Some of it has the potential to destroy marriages and ruin relationships. We're handling it all very, very carefully.
Very carefully.
But we couldn't have gotten here without you.
Am I going to get more money?
And with that, I guess our tale has finally, truly come to an end. What a strange one it was.
Yeah.
No words can express how grateful I am to you for untangling
Bestie,
this
I
mess.
got you.
Honestly, I've had enough of my family's eccentricities and scandals for one
Eccentricities.
lifetime.
Eccentricities.
I imagine you have as well.
Okay.
And if not...
Oh?
Well, there's always Elias's and Gwyneth's brothers and
Oh.
sisters.
Oh, yeah. 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 Oh my god. Look at me. This was a good song by 5Ps, if I can say that. Yeah.
built from the cash that your ancestors gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it based on your family's creations. Yo,
Okay, I'm just gonna fast forward to this.
money or you might burn bright in hellfire someday, like that Madsen
Period.
and her two dads. My pappy's cleansing trust should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims that somehow we're sinners because we didn't earn it.
Where's... How do I end? Hello? Oh. Okay. Well, let me come back in. Okay, so... they're locked in. Okay. Can I change it? No, I can't. So I know I got that one right. I got these backwards, so I got these wrong. This I got right. This one I got right. This one I got right, I think. Because this, I think they mentioned James. Yeah, so, and then it said he was like 3 years younger, so I got that one right. This one was right. I did check mark, and I think that's what it was. I don't remember doing a check mark for that, though. So, maybe it's telling me what's the right option. I don't know. I don't think it's telling me what I chose. Yeah, it's definitely not. It's telling me the right one because I know I chose X for both of these. I don't think I chose is a root tree for that. I think I did question mark for Min. And I don't remember if I got these right or not. The only ones I'm sure I got right is this one, and this one. I don't remember the rest. Okay. I'm curious about achievements. Because I'm missing some. Found all evidence. Completed every family Doku puzzle. Listen to all musical evidence. So I haven't found all evidence and the root trees are dead. I'm gonna have to go achievement hunting in this game, maybe. Not right now. Probably on my own time. Yeah, this is a new game, I guess. I don't think it's out yet, but... But this game was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It was... I felt like Root Tree Mania was a bit more difficult than the main one. But that could just be me. But, I still had a lot of fun. This game was really fun. I do want to play another game at some point. I don't know when. What's it called? Whisper of the House. I don't know anything about it. I just know that it's similar, I think, to Unpacking. So I'm really excited to check that out at some point. But for now, I'm going to end stream. Probably the shortest stream I've done in a little while. But I feel like it was a good length of a stream, and we finished what we wanted to finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. Gotta do that one box game I was playing. But oh, the ship one? Yeah, I have to check that game out at some point. Ship Inc. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Honestly, whoever celebrates Thanksgiving, hope you had a good one. And if you don't, then I hope you had a good day. And I'm gonna go ahead and go. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright? Bye, guys.